Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. Subscribe because you will find my videos both interesting and intriguing. Tap the like button and don't forget to be part of this conversation by simply sharing your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now today in this discussion we are going to be talking about geopolitical dynamics, particularly focusing on South Africa. Now in this video, Epam Kalaman articulated his perspective on how South Africa is potentially being targeted by the United States, employing various techniques of regime change. Now, his insights shed light on the intricate web of international relations and the implications for nations that defy Western ideologies. So join me as he explains more on this complex topic and unpack the implications of what could be a soft coup targeting South Africa. Let's get started. Here's the video. I will be right back.
I'll just give you a few examples, recent examples in the last 20 years or so. In 2002, Venezuela experienced a brief U.S.-backed right-wing coup against socialist President Hugo Chavez. In Honduras, they witnessed a successful U.S.-backed right-wing military coup in 2009 against the left-wing President Manuel Zelaya. In Ecuador, there was an unsuccessful violent right-wing coup attempt in 2010 against President Rafael Correa. Paraguay saw a successful U.S.-backed right-wing parliamentary coup in 2012 against President Fernando Lugo. Brazil underwent a successful U.S.-backed right-wing parliamentary coup in 2016 against President Dilma Rousseff. Venezuela again faced an unsuccessful right-wing coup attempt in 2014 against President Nicolas Maduro. Bolivia experienced a temporarily successful violent right-wing U.S.-backed coup in 2019. And then in just 2 years ago, in 2022, Peru had a U.S.-backed right-wing coup against President Pedro Castillo. And Colombia right now is currently facing the threat of right-wing sort of soft coup attempt against their left-wing president, Gustavo Petro. Now, as you will notice, the United States has more than one technique for pursuing regime change. Now, I'm bringing all of this up because very often, just as Latin America was the original laboratory for the neoliberal shock doctrine, it's also been a laboratory for techniques of regime change and domination. So my point is, we are very likely to see the U.S. Using these techniques against the BRICS nations and against the Muslim nations that defy Western hegemony. In my opinion, one obvious candidate for interference is going to be South Africa, where the Democratic Alliance, so-called Democratic Alliance, is seeking to unseat the ANC government. And the Democratic Alliance is supported by the United States. They're pro-Zionist, pro-Israel, anti-BRICS, and they want to reverse all of the advances that South Africa has made as an independent political and economic and moral actor on the world stage. So I think that South Africa is currently being targeted for something like a soft coup and interference in their elections and in their campaigning by means of the United States through the National Endowment for Democracy and maybe through other organs of state power and private sector power to funnel money into the Democratic Alliance and build them up and try to use them to unseat the ANC, which went through their own sort of neoliberal phase when they first came to power after the end of apartheid. But they're returning more now to their roots, which is more concerned with the actual social welfare and not so much with the rampant neoliberal capitalist approach, corporate approach to the economy. Not to mention the fact, obviously, with the case against the ICJ, South Africa they have a very large target on their backs. And I think that because it is a democratic system, the U.S. is most likely going to try to pursue regime change in South Africa by interfering with the elections. If they can do it through simply outfunding the ANC by pouring funding and donations and contributions and providing technical assistance to the Democratic Alliance, then they'll do it that way. If they can't guarantee that they can do it that way, then they'll probably try to tamper with the election itself. So there need to be, I think, there's an election coming up in a couple of months, shortly after Ramadan, I believe. So I think it's in May. Anyone in South Africa who cares about their government and cares about having a representative government and is proud of the positions and the stances that South Africa has taken, you need to definitely turn out to vote, and you need to definitely try to ensure that the elections are monitored by independent monitors to ensure that there's no funny business being undertaken by the United States and its agents.
Now, the assertions made by this individual regarding the potential targeting of South Africa by the United States for regime change are indeed compelling and warrant careful considerations. It's important to examine the underlying factors and historical context that support such claims. Firstly, the reference to Latin America as a laboratory for regime change techniques is not unfounded. Throughout history, the United States has been involved in numerous interventions and covert operations aimed at toppling governments deemed unfavorable to its interests in the region. From the overthrow of democratically elected leaders like Salvador in Chile to support of authoritarian regimes in the name of anti-communism, Latin America has indeed been a testing ground for various strategies of regime change and domination. Furthermore, this palm color man highlights the role of the so-called Democratic Alliance in South Africa, which is purportedly supported by the United States. Now, this alliance, characterized as pro-Zionist, pro-Israel, and anti-BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, reportedly seeks to undermine the African National Congress ANC government and reverse the progress made by South Africa as an independent political, economic, and moral actor on the world stage. Supporting this claim, one can look at the historical ties between the United States and certain factions within South Africa, particularly during the era. The United States' support for South Africa, despite international condemnation, is well documented. The geopolitical interests of the United States, particularly its alignment with Israel and its stance on BRICS nations, challenging Western hegemony, further underscores the plausibility of such interference in South Africa's internal affairs. Moreover, the individual's assertion that South Africa may be targeted in a soft coup aligns with broader patterns of interventionism observed in various regions. Soft coup tactics, which involve undermining democratic process and institutions through covert means such as media manipulation, economic pressure, and political subversion, have been utilized by powerful actors seeking to exert influence without overt military intervention. Now, while these claims may seem speculative at first glance, a closer examination of historical precedents, geopolitical alignments, and power dynamics lends credence to the notion that South Africa could indeed be a target for external interference. Now, South Africa is rich in natural resources, including gold, platinum, diamonds, and minerals crucial for various industries. Control over these resources is of strategic importance to global powers, including the United States. Historically, foreign powers have sought to influence or control resource-rich nations to gain economic advantages and secure access to valuable commodities. South Africa plays a significant role in African politics and serves as a regional powerhouse. Its influence extends beyond its borders, and its actions can impact the stability and dynamics of the entire continent. For global powers like the United States, maintaining influence and control over key players in Africa is essential for advancing their geopolitical agendas and countering the influence of rival powers. The ideological differences between the ruling African National Congress and certain factions supported by the United States, such as the Democratic Alliance, create fertile ground for external interference. The ANC's historical ties to liberation movements, socialist ideologies, and its advocacy for Pan-Africanism may clash with the interests and agendas of Western powers, leading to attempts to undermine or destabilize the government. As a member of BRICS, South Africa represents a challenge to the dominance of Western powers in global affairs. BRICS nations, including South Africa, seek to create a multipolar world order that diminishes the influence of traditional Western institutions like the IMF and World Bank. Now, this poses a direct challenge to the United States' hegemonic aspirations and may provoke efforts to weaken or undermine BRICS member states. Throughout history, the United States has engaged in covert operations and interventions in sovereign nations to advance its interest, from orchestrating coups to supporting opposition groups and manipulating elections. The US has a track record of interference in the internal affairs of other countries. Given this history, it's not implausible to consider the possibility of similar actions being taken against South Africa. But what do you, my viewers, have to say about this? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.